Okay, good morning and welcome. So we're going to continue thinking about our parasympathetic nervous system, which we discussed last week, given that rest and digest are both aspects of our parasympathetic nervous system. And breathing through our noses is helpful in terms of stimulating the vagus nerve and also being very aware that you're fully inhaling, because when we fully inhale, our diaphragm, which is this large flat muscle that expands when we breathe in, which is what pushes the belly, and then when we exhale, which is key to the parasympathetic nervous system in terms of letting go. And I'm going to read you something at the end of our class today about letting go, because it has a lot to do with our stress levels. And stress is a killer for digesting, for resting, getting a good night's sleep. We're going to start with the digestion aspect of it. And you know, noses are for breathing and mouths are for eating. But if you're plugged in your nose, you're not going to be able to breathe through your nose. I get that. We all get that. So let's come on to our backs to begin. And bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees splay out. Now, you've got blocks. If for any reason you feel that your thighs would be a little more comfortable supported by your blocks, well, then use them. Put them any place between your hip and your knee if you feel it's more comfortable, because right now what we're going to do is just focus on our breathing. So lift your shoulder blades and tuck them under your heart. And then tilt your chin towards the center of your chest. Close your eyes. We are going to breathe through our noses unless we're plugged. I'd like you to place one hand, doesn't matter, whichever one's comfortable. It might be your left hand on your chest, perhaps, and your right hand on your belly, if that feels okay. And the reason I even suggest that you put your left hand on your chest is that that's our ring finger for relationship. And of course, these are matters of the heart, but it doesn't matter. What I want you to do, though, is notice, be very conscious, be very aware of breathing in and your belly rising. But this is an aspect, when we talk about diaphragmatic breathing, it's really belly breathing, because it's your diaphragm, which is your major muscle for the breath, pushing your belly up. So whenever you hear a teacher or somebody talk about belly breathing, it's really about filling your lungs. So when you fill your lungs, this puts pressure on your diaphragm. And then when you empty your lungs, your diaphragm contracts and pushes all the air out of your lungs, ideally. So inhale. And with your hands, you're noticing your belly rising and, of course, falling. And in order to really balance and reset our nervous systems on a daily basis, try to get into the habit. When you notice you're stressed out, whether it's trying to go to sleep at night, that's a vicious cycle for people who struggle with sleep. They get stressed out even about the idea of going to bed because blah, blah, not going to sleep. We also need to listen to our self-talk about what's going to happen and what isn't going to happen. Your body hears every word you say, and worry does not promote any kind of success in any area of our lives. It actually attracts the very thing that you don't want to happen. So if you are that person who worries, just become aware of it. Become aware of it. Don't even do anything about it. The first step is to become aware. You're worried about this, that, the other thing. Honestly, I've never heard worry solving any problem. It exacerbates it, it makes it bigger, it makes things worse. And I get that we care and we want the best. Great, don't worry. Replace it with a positive thought or be neutral. So we're placing our hands here just to be sure that we're releasing. Now, breathing in quickens the heart rate. Breathing out decreases the heart rate. Yoga is the perfect exercise for us to activate our parasympathetic nervous system, the part of the nervous system that facilitates resting, digesting, in fact, having a more compassionate attitude towards life. There's something called emotional intelligence, and it even has an impact. So if we can just let go, and letting go is just as simple as exhaling fully and completely. Okay. Place your blocks off to the side if you were using them. Bring your knees into your chest and hug them. Now, Pawamaktanasana is what this is called. When you bring both knees into your chest, you hug them, you're massaging your large and small intestine. You're also adding to, and we will with the next exercise as well, increasing motility, or what we would call peristalsis. And if any of you would like to know of someone who I've used for probably 3 or 4 decades now for colonic irrigation, you know, just ask me about it. She's in our neighborhood, she's excellent, she runs her business out of her house, she knows what she's doing, and a lot of us, they say most people are carrying 12 to 15 pounds of impacted fecal matter in somewhere in their intestines. But you know what? If we're practicing yoga, let's extend the left leg down straight in front of us and keep your right leg bent with your fingers interlocked around the top of the shin. And you're pressing now into your ascending colon. So today's class is really about showing you how yoga has tools to help us increase peristalsis if we have a weak peristalsis, if we're not regular. And here's the deal, don't worry about that. Just practice a little more, because again, worry's not going to help. Worry less, practice more. Now, place your left hand on the outside of your right knee and draw it across your body. Extend your right arm out to the right side. You're taking your right knee over to the left side. And be sure to breathe. Be very aware of your breathing. Of course, we're stretching out the hips, the glutes. In fact, next week we're going to focus on how to sit easier cross-legged. For some of us, it's very easy, and for others, we're tight in certain areas and it's difficult. And I can tell you that when I started years ago, sitting cross-legged, sitting up straight was not easy. And listen, I was, over 30 years younger when I started. And today, sitting up straight and sitting cross-legged is very comfortable for me. We don't have to be fanatics, but we do need to practice. Once a week is great, twice a week is good. Just breathe, and as you breathe, notice maybe your hips relaxing. I mean, we are focusing here on digestion, But the beautiful thing about yoga is that all of the asanas are addressing and releasing so much tension and waste from the body. And then inhale, come back to center. Draw your left knee up into your chest. And once again, come into your Pavamuktanasana. So hug both knees into your chest. Try to keep your shoulder blades on the mat, hugging both knees. So this compression helps the body move waste out. And as a nutritionist, I know that our mothers used to tell us we are what we eat, but as a nutritionist, we're more than what we eat, we're what we digest. And then extend your right leg straight down in front. Keep your left bent, interlock your fingers just below your knee, on your shin. This is now your ascending colon. And then with your right hand on the outside of your left knee, draw it over to the right side and extend your left arm out to the other side. A lot of, when I say disease, I really mean a lack of ease in the body. So I'm not talking about any disease in particular, but that's what the meaning of disease is. And the definition of digestion, of course, is that when we eat our food, our body can actually use it so that it's available, accessible to all the cells in the body. And then, of course, the residual waste is eliminated in a timely fashion. You don't want the transit time to be too fast. That's called diarrhea. You don't want it to be too slow. That's called constipation. So, and depending on what we're eating, I've eaten a plant-based diet now for, I don't know, more than a couple of decades, or at least a couple of decades. I do eat a little bit of seafood, but certain foods do take a longer transit time. Apparently, red meat's about 24 hours. So it's really important to chew well and not to drink a lot of fluids when we eat. That extinguishes what's called anyi, our digestive fire. So a little bit of sipping is fine. Better to drink before your meal, but not so much when you're eating. Chew your food well. There are no teeth in the tummy. All right, and then let's bring the knee back. And let's do Pavamuktanasana one more time. Draw both knees in. So all of this is the large intestine, but we have our ascending colon, our transverse colon, our descending colon. And then place your hands underneath the backs of your knees, or you can roll over onto your side and roll up and come on into cat and cow. Now cat and cow stretches out the belly and the back. And it's a nice massage. So place your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips, and round your spine. Pull your bellies in, activate your abdominal muscles, tuck your chin, drop your tail, and then curl your toes under and hollow out your lower back. Lengthen through your neck, don't crank it too hard, lifting your tail, stretching your belly muscles. Exhale, round your spine, pull your bellies in, tuck your chin, drop your tail. So really feel your abs engaged and activated. Inhale, hollow out your lower belly, your lower back. Relax your lower belly, lifting your head. Eyes can be opened or closed. It's often good to close your eyes when you don't need to open them. And then exhale all your air out. Tucking your chin, pull your bellies in. And last time, inhale, hollow out your lower belly. Lifting tail, stretching, making space for your abdominal organs, and come back to neutral. And then curl your toes under, lift your hips up, come up into a soft dog. So keep your knees soft, and let's just slowly walk the dog. Stretching out the lower back here. Align your ears with your inner arms. One leg straight, one bent. Change. One more time, change. And last time, change. Pressing one heel towards the floor, the other knee bent, and then come on back down onto your knees. Flatten the tops of your feet. And if you're able, come into child's pose proper. So often, and we will later do our modified child's pose, but by keeping your knees together and lowering your torso onto your thighs, we're compressing the abdominal region as well as all of our digestive organs. If your forehead is comfortable on the mat, great. If not, create a pillow with your forearms and release your forehead onto your forearms. If your forehead's on the floor, you can place your arms beside your body with your palms back near your feet. Excellent posture for activating any forward bends at all will activate your parasympathetic nervous system. As long as you're not uncomfortable in them, make them comfortable for yourself. Inhaling, bring your hands forward, and let's sit on a block and just do a couple of exercises seated before we come to standing. Okay, so if you can, cross your legs sitting comfortably. And make sure you're perched on the edge of your block. So don't sit on top of your block, perched on top of your block. That doesn't help if your hips are tight. Bring your flesh to the edge of your block so that your hips actually roll forward. Alrighty, and then take your hands out to your side. Inhale in place, lengthening your spine, and exhale. I'll do the mirror image. We're going to bend sideways to the right to begin. So you're going to lift your left arm up, reaching up, 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 up. Exhale, sideways, and tippy toe the fingers on the floor out to the side. So we're stretching the obliques, pressing again into our ascending colon. This gets into the kidneys too. The kidneys, of course, are processing our fluid waste, our liquid waste. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, lower the hand down. Inhale, sweep the other arm up, reaching up. Exhale, tippy toe the fingers out to the side, reaching. Inhale, exhale, lower the arms down. Now I want you to take your arms, and it doesn't matter which one goes under, I want you to take your hands and I want you to cross your chest, feel your rib cage, and close your eyes for a moment. Sit up nice and tall. Now as you inhale, notice your rib cage expand. And if it's not, breathe in deeper and then exhale and notice your rib cage getting smaller. Inhale and exhale. Breathing through your nose. Exhale, imagine you're blowing through a straw. All the air out. One more time, inhale. And exhale either through your nose or with your lips pursed through a straw. And one more breathing. Take your hands and place them around the back of your body so that your fingertips will be on your kidneys and your thumbs will kind of be around your waist or at your hip bone. And once again, just breathe and notice the expansion in the back area. Inhaling. Exhaling. Last big breath in. And deep breath out. All right, come on over onto your knees. Keep your blocks close by. You're going to want them. Place your hands on the floor once again. Spread your fingers wide apart. Middle finger points forward. The thumbs are pointing towards one another. Spread your fingers wide apart. Curl your toes under and lift your hips up, coming into downward facing dog. Keep your dog nice and soft. Be sure you're not holding any tension in your neck. So every once in a while, just move your head in your yes and no position. We talked about necks and shoulders a couple of weeks ago. Our necks are part of our nervous system, and when they're not happy, the rest of our body is going to feel the stress from our necks and our shoulders. Lift your right leg up, tip it over to the left side, look under your left armpit. And then bring it back and bring that foot forward up towards your hands. Drop the opposite knee onto the mat. Drop the opposite knee onto the mat. Bring your left elbow outside of that right knee and open your palm. Have your palm sideways. Have a look at my hand. So you see, and place the other hand on top. So you got sideways prayer, and you're trying to make the mirror image with your arms. Now, bring your gaze back towards your mat. You can stay in this position if your balance is off today. Some days it is for no particular reason that I know of. Or lift your back knee off the floor and press through your heel. And turn your torso. So any kind of twisting or turning is advantageous to revitalizing, rejuvenating all of your digestive organs, and of course helping with this thing called motility or peristalsis. So the anchor of your posture is focusing your gaze and pressing through the heel of your back foot. Bring your hands down to the floor and let's press back into downward facing dog. Again, relax your neck. Give your head a good shake. And now identify your left leg and lift it up. Tip it over to the right. Look under your right armpit. Hello, foot, if you can see it. And then take it back and then swing that leg forward as far as you can and drop the opposite knee on the floor. Okay? Then bring your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Open your palm, make your sideways prayer. Again, focus your gaze on the front of your mat. Take your time to come into your own balanced posture, or keep your knee on the floor and just twist your torso. You're going to get the same benefit, absolute same benefit. But if you want to up the ante, take your back knee off the floor. Focus your gaze. Your anchor will be your gaze and your back foot. So breathe. But if you feel unsteady, drop the knee to the floor and just keep your torso twisted. And breathe. And release. Bring your fingers to the floor. Bring your back leg forward. And just hang for a moment. Now, for some of us, bending over cannot feel so great. So have your blocks in front of you, and you can use those, but then relax your neck and your head. Now, if it works for you to grab your elbows and just let your upper body hang. Again, check in with your neck. Just give it a movement. Most of us are so used to holding our necks in different positions, and of course the weight of it. A head weighs between 12 and 15 pounds. We're holding it up. You don't have to hold it up now. You can let the weight of your head be like the weight on a plumb line, stretching out your cervical vertebra. And then release your hands to the floor, bend your knees, tuck your chin, and slowly roll up to standing, one vertebra at a time, lifting. And the last thing to come up is your head. All right. Take your arms behind your body, interlock your fingers, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Opening up the front of your body, stretching. And release your arms. Bring your feet fairly close together, interlock your fingers, lifting up and over your head, and then turn your palms up, stretching. And then again, I'll do the mirror image for you. We're going to bend sideways to the right first. So I have to think about this. Maybe I'm not going to do the mirror image. I'm not. I don't want to think that hard. Alrighty? So you're going to lower your right arm down your right side, and your left arm comes up, and you're going to look down at your right baby toe. So your left arm's up and over. Inhale, up. Once again, bring the right arm up, interlock your fingers, turn your palms skyward. Exhale, lower your left arm down, reaching and looking, bending sideways, looking down at your left baby toe. How's it looking? Not so hot, huh? Okay, I speak for myself. Inhale, up, exhale, lower the arm down. Okay, so now we're going to try Trikonasana, both the regular Trikonasana and revolved Parivrtta Trikonasana. This is why you may wish to have your blocks. So set them up now, one on either side near the front of your mat. So they should be on your mat. Put your blocks on your mat. You're going to want them on your mat. And step up between them. And then step your right leg back one leg length. One of your leg lengths. So make it at least 3 feet, because most of our legs are at least a yardstick. Or I'll say meter for any of you young people. Or people who are progressive. Alrighty, so in Trikonasana, your legs stay straight. The heel of your front foot creates a straight line through the arch of your back foot. This is really important, so make sure, look down at your feet, that your heel is creating a line through the arch of your back foot. Okay, inhale, sweep the arms up to shoulder height. Now, reach forward. You're not reaching down yet, you're reaching forward. Your back hip goes back, your front arm goes forward. Now just let your arm hinge in front of your leg. This is where you may wish to have a block inside of your ankle. Not to lean on, but just for a little extra guidance. And then raise your top arm straight up and press that shoulder back. So that little block can help just a little bit with your balance. But try not to put too much weight into it. Inhale, come on up. All right, now it gets more fun. Okay, so make sure your back arm's straight out behind you. Now you're going to reach forward. Now you're going to twist your body And you're going to put your right hand on the block that's on the outside. And if that feels like too much, then keep your arm inside and lift your top arm up. But you definitely want your block. It will help with your balance. And releasing. Take your blocks. Step your front foot forward. Bend your knees, tuck your chin, slowly rolling up one vertebra at a time. I'm lifting my blocks up because I'm going to move them to the other end of the mat, but you can stay where you are. Okay. So take your left leg back this time. And extend your feet at least one leg length, so about 3 feet. So your front foot's 90 degrees. Your back foot will be slightly pointing forward. Back foot slightly pointing forward, Carmen? Yeah, so just take your heel back. And again, have a look that the heel creates a straight line through the arch of the foot. Lift up at your sternum. Inhale, sweep the arms up to shoulder height. And then reach with your front arm over your front toes. You're not reaching down, you're just reaching forward. When you can't reach any further, organically let your front arm fall inside of your front leg and your top arm goes directly up. Although if you have any shoulder issues, be mindful, be kind, be compassionate towards your own bodies. So stretching up and reaching up with your top arm, the energy goes up. Now that you know what you're going to do, how about switching into your twisted Parvrita, Parvottanasana. So your block, as I said, if it's too far for you to twist to the outside of your foot, then keep your hand on the inside. Reaching up and stretching up. Exhale. Bring your back leg forward, bend your knees, tuck your chin, slowly rolling up one vertebra at a time, and let your head be the last thing to come up. Staying up at the fronts of your mats for Surya Namaskar, sun salutations. Inhale, in place, exhale, hands in prayer. Take your feet apart, arms up, reach up, look up, and arc back. Stretching out your digestive organs. And then bring your feet back together. Lift up out of your waist. Exhale, slowly bend from the tops of your legs, reaching forward. Slowly releasing your fingertips to the floor. Let your head hang. If you need to, you bend your knees here, but your fingertips need to be on the floor. Let your heads hang. Step your left leg back, drop your knee to the mat, bring your hands onto your front thigh, and then focus your gaze, lift your back knee off the floor, press through that back heel. That is your anchor, and focus your gaze. Look at something that isn't moving. Inhale and sweep your arms up. Breathe. Fingers are active. Your shoulders are right over your hips. You're not leaning forward. Shoulders stay down. A lot of us don't even know what it feels like to have our shoulders down. We're so used to having them up. It feels weird. Think about it. You're now having a chance to focus on yourself, on your body. Turn your hands forward, spread your fingers apart, bring them down to the mat on either side of your front foot, and take the other leg back. Come on into your push-up or plank position. If this is too much for your wrists or your shoulders, then drop your knees to the mat and pick your feet up and cross them at the ankles. If you're fine here, once again, you can do a little rocking back and forth on your balls of your feet, giving your toes a nice stretch. Make sure you're engaging your core. Now everyone release their knees. Flatten the tops of your feet. Leave your hands where they are and slowly take your hips back towards your heels. Keep your hands where they are, releasing your belly onto your thighs, lengthening your spine, stretching out your lower back, and breathe. Especially exhale, letting go. And then lower your elbows and forearms onto the mat. You're going to feel some stretch through the shoulders. Just go slow. Keep your body nice and low. And draw your torso forward until you can release your chest and your chin onto the mat. Bum stays up in the air. And then slide everything out behind you. Place your forehead on the mat. Now, just placing your forehead on the mat, gently roll it side to side. This has an incredibly calming effect on the nervous system. Sometimes we rub the center of our forehead. Activates the parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest. Align your fingertips with the edges of your shoulders. Tuck your elbows in towards your rib cage and draw your forearms towards the mat. Notice how this moves your shoulders away from your ears. Roll an invisible alley with your nose. Press your hips and pelvis into the floor, and then lift your head, neck, shoulders, chest off the floor. You're really not using your hands here. You're using the muscles in your back. Breathe. And let your eyes open or close. Your eyeballs float up towards the middle of your forehead, Ajna chakra. One more breath in. Exhale, lengthen and lower. Curl your toes under. Come on up onto your knees and then lift your hips up. Walk your feet a couple of inches forward. Bend your knees. Press your belly onto your thighs. Press your chest towards your knees. Align your ears with your inner arms. Now, press your sits bones towards the back wall as you attempt to straighten your legs, and press your heels towards the floor. Breathe. Lift your left leg up in the air, look at your left hand, and swing that foot as far forward as you can. If it didn't go very far, drop the opposite knee, pick the foot up at the ankle, and bring it towards the front of your mat. Other leg forward, standing forward bend, Uttanasana. All of this is excellent for your parasympathetic nervous system. Arms beside your ears. Engage your thighs. Pull your bellies in to protect your lower back. Sweep the arms in front, reaching up, feet apart for balance. Look up, reach up, arc back. Inhaling, stretch up, lift out of your waist, exhale, forward fold, bend your knees, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up and overhead, hands in prayer. Exhale, hands to your heart center. And release your arms down. Okay, come on onto your bellies. Bow pose, Dhanurasana. This is one of the most prized asanas in yoga. Of the 400 or so variations. Now, some of us, it's going to be too difficult. I'm just going to show you, and then I will show you a variation. If your knees are further apart, sometimes the hamstring wants to cramp. Mine just did. I think that was the one that I tore rollerblading many moons ago. So you grab your ankles, and I'm just demonstrating for a moment. When I kick my ankles back, it lifts the front of my body off the floor. Now, that's going to be too difficult for some of us, or something we may not wish to do today. So place your right arm in front, if that's the case, and then bend the left leg. So the wider your legs are apart, the easier it is for you to take hold of your ankle. And then you're going to grab, so right arm in front, left ankle, and then you're just going to lift up one leg at a time. So of course this gets into your digestive organs big time. So take your pick. We'll do it twice. If you can take both ankles, great. If not, start on one side. And on an inhale, kick both legs or one leg back, lift your upper body off the floor, and if you're inclined, rock it out. Awesome for, obviously, increasing motility, peristalsis, and then release. Okay, turn your head to the right, big toes touch, shoulders melt, arms beside your body. And of course, it's a very taxing, any kind of back bending is cardiovascularly demanding, which means that your heart is pumping lots of oxygenated blood throughout the body. And bring the head back to center. Take the opposite leg, so then you're going to, if we're only doing one leg at a time, you're putting your left arm in front and you're grabbing your right ankle. If you're doing both, as I said, it's easier, no matter what you're doing, to spread your knees wider apart. If you find it easy, keep your legs together. All right. On an inhale, kick your legs or one leg back and lift your torso off the floor. And a little bit of rocking, if that's possible. Please practice with awareness, respect, and compassion. Alrighty, that will do. Turn your head to the opposite side, arms beside your body, big toes touch, heels splay out, shoulders melt. The class gets easier from here on in. Now, that is a very demanding posture, but the benefits are tremendous for digestive, reproductive, sexual organs and glands, your heart, your spine. But we are focusing on digestion today. Okay, take your arms out to the side, shoulder height, bring your head back to the center. Lift your right leg up, roll over onto your left hip, and tap the floor with your toe. And back over and down. Other leg up, roll over onto the opposite hip, tap the floor with your toe, and back over and down. Again, lifting right leg up, roll onto your left hip, bend the knee, tap the floor with your toe, and back onto your tummy. Left leg up, bend at the knee, roll onto your right hip, and tap the floor with your toe, back over and down. Now this time, if you can, and if you can't, it's okay, but if you can, you're going to lift the right leg, you're going to try and grab the foot with your left hand and hold it. So if you're not able to grab the foot, just keep your foot over on that side. Your right foot on your left side, you're on your left hip. So Junie, yep, you got it, June. Yep, Great. And that top arm can go out to the side. Yeah, you got it. So this is a nice stretch for the lower abdominal muscles, stretch for the ascending colon, and back over and down. Okay, want to try the other side? So lift the leg up, take hold. And again, if you get cramping in the hamstring, just release it, try again. Mine's borderline cramping. What fun. So I'm shaking it out. All right. So it's opposite hand to opposite foot. There is the asana where you use the same arm and same leg, but that's not the one that we're practicing. It's a little more advanced, not as comfortable as this one. Stretching out now your descending colon, your lower abdominal muscles. And of course, it goes without saying, good posture is also going to facilitate better digestion and less stress in the body, period. Also, being hydrated. A lot of people are walking around dehydrated. That's a stress to the body. The earth is 70% water, so are you. We're made out of what the earth is made out of. There's a reason why the rainbow, the earth, the amount of water on the planet is similar to our chakras and our body composition. It's not an accident, it's not a coincidence. And release that leg all the way down. Yay. And then place your hands underneath your shoulders. Press up onto your knees. And here's where we'll take our modified version of child's pose. So your knees are as wide as the mat. Big toes touch. Flatten the tops of your feet. Once again, take your time because feet like to cramp up, just like hamstrings. So if you slowly take your hips back towards your heels, slow, slow, slow. And if your knees don't like to bend that much, then take puppy pose. Keep your knees under your hips, reach your forearms forward, and place your forehead on the floor. Whichever one you're in, again, can you gently roll your forehead from side to side? Just slowly and gently. And just let it all go and breathe into your side and back ribs. Keep your head steady. Try to relax your arms and your shoulders and feel your side and back ribs expand as you breathe in. And let go. Inhaling. Exhaling is really important. And then draw your hands underneath your shoulders. And let's press back up into a seated position. And we'll practice another twist pose. Seated, Ardha Matsyendrasana. So, you're going to place your left foot flat on the floor outside of your right knee. And I'm not doing the mirror image. So left foot outside of your right knee, flat on the floor. Now, option. You can keep this leg straight, or you can roll over onto your right hip, bend your leg, your right leg, and bring the foot so that it's near your thigh or your buttock. All right, that's an option. If that doesn't feel right, please keep the leg straight. All right? But if you're going to bend it, roll over onto that right hip. Okay, now interlock your fingers 2 inches below. Pull your torso towards your bent thigh. lengthening, and then place your left hand behind you. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, bring the elbow outside of the knee if that's available, or wrap the elbow around the knee, the inner side of the elbow. As you inhale, elongate and lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, twist whatever amount you can. Staying tall. Keep the spine long. From tailbone right up through the crown of your head. And breathe. So major cleansing posture. Kriyas is the name that they use for all manner of cleansing the body in yoga, the kriyas. We don't get into these, they're very specialized techniques. But just know that exhaling is cleansing, twisting, bending, compressing. These are all cleansing. And by the way, we're going to finish up the class with the best tip ever, a few of them, a couple of them, for how to calm and calm your nervous system. But all of the things we're doing today are all part of calming the nervous system, every one of them. So rest and digest are part of the parasympathetic nervous system. Your exhalations are very important to activating and keeping your parasympathetic nervous system more activated than the sympathetic, which is the fight, the flight, the worry, the freeze, this stress. Inhale in, exhale, slowly counter twist to the other side, and come back to the center. And let's release our legs straight out in front and bang out the backs of your knees. And smile, because that's part of yoga. Yoga for your face. It improves your face value too. Okay. Place the opposite foot outside of the knee. And again, now you can roll over onto your left hip if you're intending to bend that bottom leg. And if you try it and you think, you know what, it doesn't really feel good, I'm not honoring my body today, straighten it out. Be kind. If you can't sit up straight with that other knee folded under, that should be a sign that this isn't for you today. Interlock your fingers 2 inches below the knee. Pull your torso towards that bent thigh. And breathe and smile. And then place your left hand behind you to prop yourself, or your right hand behind you. Inhale the left up, reach and stretch up. Exhale, twist, turn. Either wrap your arm, inner elbow around the knee, or bring your elbow to the outside of your knee. And then I'm bringing my thumb and forefinger together. It's just a habit in Jnana Mudra. Inhale, lift and lengthen the torso, the spine. Exhale, twist and turn. And then either close your eyes or soften your gaze, drishti. And last week I spoke about how we have a left and right hemisphere. And it's like, why do we have 2 nostrils? Why don't we just have one big hole? Well, that's because we have energies called Ida and Pingala. And if you can think about the medical icon where you see a staff and then you see these almost like serpent-like lines that go all around, back and forth, up the center of the spine. Well, that represents the left and right aspects of the body. So again, you're inhaling to lengthen the spine, exhaling to twist whatever amount you can. And remember, when we breathe through the left nostril, we activate the right side of the brain, which is our creative side. And when we breathe through the right nostril, that activates the left side of the brain, which is that logical, linear, that's the one that's making lists, that's organizing our lives. And that is not the nostril we want to be breathing through when we go to bed at night. Inhale one more time, lengthening. Exhale, and turn the other way. And release. Now, having said that, sure, we're going to breathe through both nostrils. I get that. But I'm talking to people, and then straighten out your legs. I'm talking to people who are struggling with getting a good night's sleep. I would enter the sleeping Olympics if there was such a thing, because I'm a good little sleeper, and bang out the backs of your knees. And I feel very lucky, because obviously it's just great to shut it down and leave our bodies. Okay, let's just do one more thing for digestion. And come on over onto your knees, curl your toes under, and then we'll do our last bit for explaining how we're going to get a good night's sleep. Slowly rolling up, one vertebra at a time. So I actually do this from time to time, and you do it on an empty stomach, which I assume we're mostly got right now, is Uddiyana Bandha. So, and many of you have done this before, but again, as a reminder, if you're waiting for your dinner to be ready, A blood type, if you know your blood type, we have, I'm an A blood type. I don't have all the hydrochloric acid that I used to have. And once we're over the age of 40, nobody has it. So this actually stokes your digestive fire, because hydrochloric acid is needed to digest some of the heavier foods that we eat. So when I'm waiting for my dinner, sometimes I just do this. Not to mention that, you know, it kind of exercises your abdominal muscles. So you're going to bend your knees and lengthen your spine, although it's going to round when we start doing the breathing exercises. And basically, you're going to exhale all the air out. And once all the air is out, you're going to pull your abdominal muscles, feel as if you're almost pulling them up and under your rib cage, okay? But all the air needs to be out, and I can't talk and have all the air out because I need air to talk. It vibrates my vocal cords. That's how we talk. I mean, that's how we make sound, okay? So all the air out, and once you feel that you need to breathe, then you stand up and you take a deep breath, okay? So just try this. Hands are on your knees, all your air out. And even when you think it's all out, make another false exhalation. And then pull your abdominal muscles up and under your rib cage. And you stand up when you need to breathe. Okay, so just a reminder, if you're struggling with digestive issues, here's our last exercise, and you can do this seated or you can do it lying down. If you want to simulate bed, you can do it. But I'm going to sit up, of course, and basically what we're going to do is block the right nostril. Now, there's some people who say, because we're only going to breathe through the left nostril. So just by breathing through the left nostril activates your parasympathetic nervous system. So and then if you leave your other fingers straight up, there's an idea that this is like an antenna. I don't care if you do or don't, but I mean, because we're not going from one side to the other. Normally we would fold our peace fingers in, but you're just going to sit up nice and tall. You're going to close your eyes, and you're blocking just between the flesh and the cartilage. That's it. And you're only, and tech guy, I'd like you to do this. You're taking your thumb and your other fingers are like an antenna, and you're going to close your eyes. You sit up nice and tall, okay? And just breathe through your left nostril. Inhale and exhale. And just do that. I'm not going to talk. I want you to just do this. So you're lying in bed at night, ruminating. Do something different. Block your right nostril and just breathe through your left. This calms your nervous system. It stops you from thinking. Okay. So take yourselves down onto your mats for your final posture, Shavasana. Palms are facing up in the open and receiving position. And I'm going to read you a little something on letting go. Most of the time, we spend our lives wanting things to be different than they are. And that causes everything from mild to extreme and chronic stress. Let go. Let go without a thought or a word. Let go of fear. Let go of judgments. Let go of the confluence of opinions swarming around your head. Let go of the committee of indecision. Let go of all the right reasons. Wholly and completely, without hesitation or worry, just let go. Don't ask anyone for advice. Don't read a book on how to let go. Don't search the scriptures. Just let go. Let go of all the memories that hold you back. Let go of all the anxiety that keep you from moving forward. Let go of the planning and the calculations about how to get it right. Don't journal about it. Don't even write the projected date in your day timer. Don't make a public announcement, put an ad in the paper. Don't check the weather report or read your horoscope. Just let go. Stop analyzing. Stop talking. Just let go. It doesn't require effort. It doesn't require struggle. Things aren't good or bad. They just are what they are. Just let it be. Let a smile wash over your face. Feel the breeze when you go for a walk. Thank the sun and go to sleep with the moon. Life is one long practice of learning to let go. And sometimes all we need to do is exhale Smile. Put one foot in front of the other and go forth. Inhaling the life force, long, full, and deep. Your belly rises, and deep exhaling. Stretch your arms over behind your heads. Reach and stretch, point feet far, flex and point, and drop your arms down by your side. When you're ready, roll over onto your side. Take your time, there's no hurry. And when you're ready, press yourself back up into a seated posture. Bring your hands into prayer. Bow to your own hearts. Acknowledge yourself for showing up to practice and take care of you. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.